Good day. Oh, I forgot my chapeau. That was dumb of me. It is about 20 degrees in Nanaimo, BC. It's about 9 in the morning. Thought I would just get out for a nice walk here. Not sure where I'm going here. There's so many areas mixed with residential, and then all of a sudden there's a trail that leads into the woods, so that's what I'm looking for today. Let's see how it goes, because I think there's one right here. We'll see. Fairly calm today, but it is a beautiful day. So I believe this is part of the Linley trail system. It's kind of trail system in the heart of Nanaimo. The ocean is back that way and over to my left as well. The forested areas are just so much different here than in Alberta. For now, I'm just going to stick to this main path, but you get over here and it's almost like out of a old English movie or book or something, the way there's the trees in the forest and the creek. Quite neat. Big fern type plants and everything on the forest floor. A little recap of what we've done while we've been here. It's been a fairly relaxing vacation for sure. Yesterday we went to Gabriel Island, which you would see in yesterday's video. I did a walk around there, and we did a loop around the island on the road. I was quite surprised by the amount of population on Gabriola. And then we had a nice dinner with our daughter and future son-in-law. May as well just say son-in-law. They're together at this point. Just doesn't mean a marriage certificate makes anything different. So that was nice. And what did we do the day before? Well, they made us a nice dinner, some hamburgers in their new place that night. We toured around the nice fancy apartments that our daughter, she's a leasing manager, leases out. Very nice new buildings. Expensive. I love the look of them, but kind of expensive for my taste. Where a 2-bedroom, 2-bath with air conditioning and parking is kind of pushing $3,000 a month. So yowza. Her company's building a lot of buildings, so can only hope that would drive rental prices down as it creates more vacancy, but who knows. And I forgot to turn on Runkeeper again. And I'm about, well, let's say a half a kilometer into it here. Not very good cell reception down in the forest here. How dare they? All these big trees, they can't put up a cell tower? Oh, I love the smell of these cedar trees in the forest. They smell nicer when they're cut. But I'll take it in the forest, in the raw, as it were, as well. Lots of peace and tranquility here, except for the dastardly planes flying by. What is that squished thing? Whatever it is, I don't want to see a live one. Gross. Looked like a huge caterpillar or something. Maybe it was a slug. Just passed a couple there, and they were wearing bear bells. Should I have been too? My unpreparedness of just walking into the forest gonna catch up to me? I hope not. This creek bed is dry. Further down though, the water was flowing, so interesting. Water comes from, obviously, down the sides of the hills at different spots. That one was dry. Bit of an upwards elevation change here, but so far the trail is nice and smooth. I think this is I think they classify this one as a biking trail, but only a couple walkers today like me. This little hill got my heart rate up though. It's interesting that this forest, they've kept it preserved right in the heart of Nanaimo. Pretty much all natural. Still can't get over the height and circumference of trees in BC. Most of what we have in Alberta are just stick trees. There must be some good ones because there's lots of logging in Alberta too, but you get into these BC forested areas and it's kind of mind-blowing for this Alberta boy. Other than my heavy breathing, listen to that. Perfect tranquility. And like usual, I am the noisiest thing out here. Other than some birds. So there's little offshoot trails that people use. I'm sticking to the main one for now. I'm out here alone, so no need to put myself in any precarious positions. My wife can track me on her phone, so I got that going for me. Well, I reached the top of the ascent and have now dropped down a few meters. Another bridge here crossing the creek. My knee is barking like a dog a little bit. Look how still and clear that water is. Slowly flowing over there. Pretty nice. Okay, trail narrows a bit around here, but still lots of room for walking. Okay, Linley Valley Caudle Lake Trail. I didn't really research the trail very well. I try and look on Google Maps, because a lot of times I'll have a dotted green line of the trails, but not here. Maybe they want to kind of keep it a secret. Or they haven't had anybody put on a bunch of electronic gear and follow the trails. I'd do that. Bit of a trail intersection there that takes you a little deeper into that part of the forest. Watch out for tree roots. I've already tripped on one. Oh, these climbs are fairly gradual, but certainly catch up to you. Okay, a Y in the road. Let's continue to the left, or to the right rather. My other left. Even if I only do a 5-kilometer walk, with the elevation changes here, it's quite a bit more taxing than at home. So I don't feel too guilty that I'm not pushing out 10 kilometers or whatever. More off-shooting trails. I really need to get out earlier like this. Not that 9 in the morning is early, but it's so much more peaceful. I'm not sure how busy these trails get during the day, but I don't know, I've seen half a dozen people heading the other way. So, not busy at all. At home, for whatever reason, by the time I start my day, it seems to be noon or so before I start walking, and obviously the busiest times. So if you like to feel like you're alone in the universe, you got to get out earlier. I didn't put on bug spray, so I hope that one mosquito buzzing behind my ear was a loner. Okay, we're coming up to a connection point that looks like might be another extension of this trail. I'm not sure which way to go on this trail. Came from that way, I can go that way, and that way. Hence the fact it's called an intersection, okay? Humor me. Well, let's continue with my making right turns process here. Another hill climb. So far, this has seemed like it's been uphill all the way. Let's just go a little ways off the main trail. I think we're coming up to a parking lot up there. Yep. Okay, I just came out of the Linley Valley entrance, and following this road, I'm trying to get to this, it's called Lost Lake Trail, and we'll see how that goes. My God, how is everything uphill here? Now, I guess I did do some elevation descents, but it seems like everything else is uphill. Not much in the way of sidewalks here. Some nice properties up here. Nice ocean view off to the right there. Still uphill all the way. Little black bunny up there. These rabbits are kind of like the a pet rabbit. And they just run rampant all over Nanaimo. A lot around the museum too. Not the museum, the university. Somewhat tame. I wouldn't be petting it, but... Okay, we're connecting up with the Lost Lake Trail. Quick look at the map here. Let's give her. I am sweating like crazy, as is my physiology. I think I inherited that from my mother. Sadly, I passed it on to my daughter. I'm not sure how big a loop this is, but it does loop around what they call the Lost Lake. Can't be that lost if people have found it. Beautiful in here. Found it. It's not lost anymore. Looks a little murky, but people are swimming in it. People are getting up and moving this time of day, so I imagine things could start getting a little busier. When it comes to people, I guess I would be considered an introvert. I like people on my terms, and forced interactions for me are uncomfortable. Nice little lake. So that's why I like these solitary walks. No forced small talk with strangers. And just peaceful bliss. I didn't eat before I left, so mundane man getting hungry. I'm only about halfway around my trip today. It's nice they put up railings here. And this is probably a moderately difficult trail around the lake. Trail is fairly smooth. There are elevation changes, but overall a moderate difficulty. Another view of the lake from the opposite side. Not your normal BC clear lake, so it must pick up runoff and stuff. I didn't read the sign, but I think you can have your dogs out here just on a leash. Oh, another elevation change. This part of the trail kind of winds you away from the lake, but I believe it makes a whole loop and takes us back to the parking area. That's my hope anyways. Unless somehow it connects back with the Linley Park. I don't think so though. There's all kinds of places to walk around Nanaimo in these forested trails. Sometimes you just got to find them. The Linley Trail, all I had to do is go quarter way around the crescent that our Airbnb is at. There was a set of stairs down, turn right, boom, right in the Linley Trail. The last Airbnb we stayed at was on the north side. Well, I don't even know the direction. I think it's the north side, no, south side of the Highway 19. And you would just walk up a block, turn right, and basically sink into the forest. Don't know what that big tank is for, but it can hold a lot of liquid, whatever it's holding. And this looks like a bit of a lookout for the lake. Well, let's check it out. There's a nice photo shot for the day. I find I don't take a lot of photos. A lot of what I post on Instagram is just a snapshot of my video, which are not the greatest quality. But I just find we take 1,000 pictures of things now because it's essentially free, and then they're never looked at again. Okay, that was the loop around the lost lake. Not so lost. That big containment tank is what they call it, a water tower. So it's holding water. Not sure if it's part of the Nanaimo water system or what, but that's what it's there for. Water. Okay, I'm about 3 kilometers away from where I started. Still heading away from my starting point. There's another Linley trailhead up a ways, and I'm just kind of seeing if it's too far up a ways. And again, not very big on pedestrian sidewalks. I probably should be on the other side of the road, even though they say you should be facing the traffic coming at you. Nice ocean view through there. That's not a nice Sunday morning activity. If I was his neighbor, I'd be pissed. Well, it's 10:30 in the morning, so it's not like it was 8 a.m. on a Sunday. Getting a nice cool breeze off the ocean. I was getting hot. And now I have to cross again to try and stay out of the road. That's quite the ocean view. These people have a very well maintained and beautiful property. Just seems to be no end to the beautiful views you can see here. Oh, keep climbing this hill. Maybe I bit off more than I can chew to get back to another trail area. This has been all residential, but with lovely views of the ocean off to my right. I don't think I talked about Nanaimo's demographics, but if I'm repeating myself, oh well. Figure I may as well give some data while I'm walking along a roadway. So Nanaimo has a population of about 104,000 people as of 2022. They have seen a lot of growth in the last 20 years. As a result, some of their major economic contributing activities are construction, retail, and there seems to be a growth in professional and scientific and technical roles. And of course, tourism being another big one. Of course, with the beautiful views and all that, it does attract a lot of tourism here. Landscape of Nanaimo's changed quite a bit since I first started coming here 30 years ago. And it was back then really that the growth started becoming significant. And now with telecommuting and working from home, Vancouverites, if that's what they're called, could actually live in a cheaper, with air quotes, cheaper environment like Nanaimo, and improve their standard of living and just work from home from there. Of course, the whole work from home thing is changing too, where businesses want you in the office. But even if you had to commute to Vancouver on a ferry once a week for work, you could probably save a lot of money here. Now, for an Albertan, with our current standard of living, very expensive to move out here. The average price of a standard house here seems to be in around the $600,000 range. Correction, I take that back. I just looked it up, and the average housing cost in Nanaimo is $872,000. So granted, there's still $400,000 condo apartments around, but then also there's going to be the $1.5 million houses similar to what we're staying in at our Airbnb. I'm getting too far away from my start point, but I refuse to turn back until I can make a loop. How stupid. Uphill again. That house there is for sale for $1.2 million. Sorry, $1.12 million. 3,200 square feet. It may have a view of the ocean. Okay, somewhere along here is supposed to be the Linley trail head. I think it's up there at that dead end. I'm getting kind of discouraged though. Google Maps kind of took me on a roundabout way. A few cars parked here that looked foreign, so we'll hit the trail over here and hopefully I can start heading back that way again. Well, let's check out this trail. It's called Cliffside Ridge on the Linley trail system. Not as wide and groomed as the other part of the Linley trail I was on. Maybe it'll give a nice viewpoint though. Quite a bit rougher than what I was on earlier. Not quite sure this is going where I want it to. But the sun is right overhead, so I believe I'm heading south-ish. So that is the right direction I need to go. And turning back and going the way we came is for suckers. We'll die before we double back, right? Not. I would consider this trail somewhat challenging. You're scaling stones or mountainside here. So just be mindful as you're climbing. Some of the stones have kind of made shelves or stairs to climb up on, so that's good. Lots of climbing on rough terrain though. That was a lot of climbing. And there's still more to go. Look at the view of the valley, folks. I did it for you. And I'm almost as high up as those communication towers, so yay me! Time to carry on. You can tell these forest beds are pretty dry right now. So no smoking, no fires. Hate to see this get destroyed. I think we're at the northwestern tip of Linley Park, or Linley Trails, I guess. So we're just gonna keep on heading on. I'm not sure if it'll connect to where I left the park, but we'll give her a shot. It's just turning into a longer walk than I thought. It's a good thing my wife was sleeping in today. She heard her daughter was going to sleep in today because of all the moving and how busy they were the last couple of weeks. I think that just triggered her right there. Yes, more sleep. I myself can only really stay in bed about 8 hours. After that, I get too creaky. Well, we're back into the forest again. That's pretty obvious, right? Way to go, Mundane man. State the obvious. Just making mundane conversation. Isn't that all you'd expect from me? I think those layers of stone would be challenging if it was a little bit wet. I bet they would get pretty slippery. All I know is I'm sort of heading in the direction I think I need to go. Isn't that what a lost person says? Okay, I'm on Pondside Trail. Good to know. It's kind of taking me towards the direction of a park called New Park. A very creative name. What should we call this new park? How about New Park? Excellent. Let's go for lunch. We are making quite the descent here on a rough, stumbly trail. I've already tripped a couple times, so I'm going to be careful I don't face plant. That would make me sad. Okay, I just made a random left turn and ended up to the entrance of what they're calling New Park. Now what do? I'm going to go back to that intersection of trails and make a left turn because that's heading more so in the direction I want to go. Thank goodness for Google Maps, even though I complain about it sometimes. At least I have a satellite view of where I am. Another mountain to climb. This one's a little easier. One thing I'm happy to see in a lot of these trails so far, no litter. Good on you humans that use these trails. I'll have to say, today has been a proper hike. Not just a little walk. Many elevation changes. Less than smooth terrain. It's been good. Gotta get home now. Getting tired. Okay, the hole in the fence kind of led us to a more groomed trail here and is continuing to head me in the right direction, so why not? Did cut down a spruce tree there. Boy, it smells nice. Funny, that hole through the fence and that little side trail took me right back to Lost Lake. Does that mean I was lost and I found the lake? I wasn't turned around, but I was certainly taking the hard way home. Okay, parking lot of Lost Lake Trail again. Good news is I'm about 2/3 the way home. Just got to walk down the road a ways and pick up the Linley Trail again. Okay, this is taking me back down to the Linley trailhead. Yeah, I said I wasn't gonna double back, but couldn't find a good circular route to get me back home. Anyways, it'll be nice and pretty again to walk through the forest over here. This turned into a very long walk, probably 3 hours by the time I get home, and that didn't require any driving to get here. Back on the trail again. Legs are getting a little tired, so I'm going to have to be cautious of stumbling here. There's a couple guys at the start of the trail there that had some ultra extended zoom lenses on their camera with camo on them, pointing into the trees, so I assume they're trying to get some National Geographic worthy bird pictures. It all seemed uphill to get to this point, so now I can focus on the downhill and getting shin splints. Probably should have gone that way earlier instead of going up a road. Wasn't quite sure where that went though. How about some forest ASMR? Sun got awfully high in a hurry, especially when you're out for 3 hours. I'm probably exaggerating about the time, but feels like it. Never noticed this tree when I was walking the other way, but look at that. Fell over at some point, but just continued to grow. Nifty noodle. Valley Park. So when I cross this bridge, don't exactly know what park I'm in, but it is the way I came in for sure. Alright, I thought everything was downhill from where I was. Another uphill. I think it might be the last one. Other than the stairs I've got to climb to get back into our neighborhood. Significant increase in cyclists and dog walkers right now. The serenity level has dropped. That's okay. I'm pretty much done with this walk anyways. Well, I have to say that was a proper hike. I'm just coming out of the park area, or the forest area. I just have to head up some stairs and then up our, crescent to get to our house, our Airbnb. So I'm going to say this one was way more than I expected.
Oh, that was a lot of stairs. And more hill to climb. Almost there though. Let's get home and see how we did.
Well, I'm repeating my outro because I forgot to hit record. What a knob. Okay, that was a proper hike today. 10.84 kilometers in 2 hours and 32 minutes. And it said was my first 10 to 12 kilometer hike. And the reason I'm getting these best pace first of that type of thing is I'd change my setting from walking to hiking. So I'll have to remember that when I get home to set it back again. But that was a proper hike, and now I can get on with my day because it's 12:15 in the afternoon. So that was a good one. Till the next time.